What's up, everybody? It's your boy Miki, back with another one, Ski Mask Wave Boxing. I just wanted to talk about the fight card that just happened yesterday, and man, it was a terrific ring three card that Turkey Ali Shiki had put together, and I had to retract on some of my words, y'all, because I had put a video out about him being bad for boxing, which I think in the long term or the long run he's going to be, because I think that it's going to get ate up by a lot of these. That's another subject. I don't really want to talk about it, but just know Dana White coming in, Dana White, and y'all know that a lot of them MMA fighters been saying that Dana hasn't been paying as much as they should be earning. That's why you saw Ngannou come through and get a nice payday, two paydays actually, especially with Joshua, even though that knockout was vicious. But yeah, and so Dana is promoting that new fight with Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford, which is going to be fantastic for boxing in my eyes because of what Terrence can accomplish, being a three-time undisputed, especially at 168. Ooh, that will be tremendous on his resume. You know what I'm saying? Undisputed at 140, undisputed at 147, and undisputed at 168. Look at the jumps. That snack. I don't know, T-Money. You down with Victor Conti. I seen the pictures. But I still love Terrence, though, because Terrence, he's about to accomplish something that I don't think no other fighter did. Do we ever got a fighter that has a three-time undisputed if he does win this belt? I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. Let me talk about the actual fight card this weekend, especially what I told y'all about Berlanga. Remember, didn't I? Miki told y'all. I said he's overconfident, he's delusional, and he got this mentality that because he survived with Canelo, he's this. The torch has been passed to him. And I'm like, man, Berlanga, have you seen your last opponent? That boy looked like he came out of, you know what I'm saying, yoga class. Remember the dude that they looked like they took out of the 7-Eleven and said, come on, get a payday with Edgar out here. And, yeah, so, and I told y'all, I said that. I said, and y'all can go back and watch my press conference, my thoughts and everything on the press conferences that they have, because I can, like, the way that people talk, like if you are an observer of people's actions and because that's why we got body language. The body gives you a language to those who know how to read the language or to interpret the language. You know what I'm saying? That's why we say body language. Like men who are well rehearsed, like myself, with women, know how to feel and understand the vibes that the woman is giving me, or whoever it is. I'll just say that. So that we'll understand in knowing how to go further or proceed further, you know what I'm saying? Because a woman will let you know by the sort of touches that she do that she's interested in you before you even talk to her. You understand? By the way that she touches her hair and the way that she plays and fiddles, but that's another subject again. Let me get back to the Ring 3 recap. I think that Puello Matias, that was a barn burner. That was a barn burner. That was a barn burner, man. That could go either way. So that's all I got to say about that, because they gave it to Matisse. What's his name? Cerebral Matisse, right? But anyway, let me go to. I just want to go to what a little Japanese guy knocked out that one guy, and then what's the other? Because he was like 2-0 or something. Because he's a new professional. And then because I'm out here at the river. I'm out at Potomac enjoying myself, and I don't have all of the information in front of me so I can see it or whatever, but this is all off of my thoughts, and like I told y'all before, when I give my messages, I just go off top. But yeah, Edgar Berlanga, I told y'all about Edgar Berlanga though. And Sheeraz, I told y'all that Sheeraz got way more skills, and Carlos Adame was one of the best people on Berlanga's whole resume besides Canelo. And Sheeraz had way more better, I ain't gonna say better fighters than Adame, because I think Adame was the best fighter that Sheeraz had fought at the time, and I think he lost. I really think he lost that fight, but they made it a draw or whatever, and I just think that Berlanga was overconfident, and he was just delusional. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't fought anybody to establish himself as the next one up. Like he was, going around with that losers tour. With Canelo, when he lost to Canelo. Remember we went on that losers tour and was doing interviews and saying, yeah, I did better than what people expected. That New York bravado and everything, and I mean, real fighters could see right through it. Like, dude, you got whooped, you lost. How can you say you the next up? It wasn't like how Mayweather and Canelo, because Mayweather was there to teach Canelo, and he was able to tell Canelo when he grabbed his face like Canelo grabbed your face and told you great hombre or whatever. You know how Canelo is. Viva Mexico! Canelo, but Canelo now from the situation what Sheeraz did to him, now we see why Canelo picked Berlanga. You understand? Because Canelo knew what Berlanga didn't have. Canelo knew that Berlanga wasn't no threat to him. You know what I'm saying? Even though Canelo on his back foot, eating cheese sandwiches now and sleeping on satin sheets, because he ain't really into boxing like he was when he was young, because he got the hundreds. Canelo about to be a billionaire for real. Yeah, I think Canelo, because when they were doing that Piers Morgan interview, I think Canelo said he about to be a a billionaire. But yeah, so he's not the same. That's why I said that Bud could beat him. I said, Bud, this is the best time to fight, man. Bud can beat him because he's not the same. He doesn't have the same hunger, focus, because he's accomplished so much. And he's content, and you can tell by the way he's not putting these guys to sleep. He's not finishing his fights and finishing these guys off like he should be, because he's content with what he's done. And like sometimes, he says dumb things like, I don't like guys who move around. I hate the guy, because he calls it running, but it's boxing. And because of the situation in boxing, you must have the IQ in order to cut off the ring. That's why it's a squared circle. These corners is where you can get people and beat them up. You see what I'm saying? But, you'll say something like you don't like guys that run around when, you had a guy in front of you, David Benavidez, for the last, 5-6 years, and he don't run around. David stand there and bang with you, but you wouldn't give him the opportunity. At the time, Jamal Charlo, he didn't run. He'd stand there and bang with you. And Jamal Jamal got one of the best jabs in the business. You ain't give him the opportunity, but you'll give flack about Crawford's resume. But then when asked by Shaq, remember when y'all was on that rooftop in New York, Shaq said, do you think this fight is better than you fighting Benavidez? And you said, no, Crawford has a lot to offer to this fight, and 2-time world champ. But you just sat up there, it was a contradiction now. You sat up there and said, who have you fought? Who have you fought? He hasn't fought anybody. Ricky Byrne, who is Ricky Byrne? Postal, a guy in my gym, 140 years old. You know what I'm saying? He diminishing him. And then when Shaq asked him about the Mexican monster, what'd he do? Oh no, Crawford, he brings everything to the table. He's a great fighter. Crawford, he hides behind Crawford, who came up from 130 pounds or 35 pounds or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, the smaller man, and you got a man that rightfully owns the spot and deserves a shot at the undisputed what is that? Light heavy or whatever they fighting at. I don't know what they fight. I don't know if he fighting at 175 at this fight. I don't know. But David's been in there telling people he want to fight you, calling you out after his fights, telling you, and you don't give him an opportunity, and you tell Shaq that Crawford's resume and everything and his accomplishments is what you're looking for, but you bash his resume. He hasn't fought anybody elite, but that's what Spence did. Spence did the same thing, and that's what I was telling folks. Spence did the exact same thing. They questioned Crawford's resume, and it backfired. Because when you question somebody's resume like they didn't fought, you don't train as hard as you should, because in the back of your mind, you diminishing them. You disrespecting them, actually. Especially what Crawford has done, and he's been against the odds his whole career. Everybody say he too small, he too this, he too that. And like I would tell people, by him wrestling, that's why he got a lot of strength, because oh, that's an eagle. Look at that eagle. Y'all see that eagle? I know y'all seen that eagle. That's a special sentiment, ain't it? Miki doing his thing. That's it. Oh, he going, look. You see him? He going to get a fish. Oh, he going to get a fish, y'all. I see him. Oh, there go a couple more. Look, it's 2 of them. 3. I love nature, man. That's why I always come down here. Oh, they going to get fish. I'm sorry, fight fans. I love nature, man. That's why I come down here and sit and just the ripples of the water, just to clear my mind and everything. Because boxing is a brutal sport, man. Boxing is a brutal sport. And when you've been concussed and have concussions and everything, the best thing for you is relaxation. And now through different medication, cannabis is a good, I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, whatever, but it helps your mind and everything, man. But like I said, getting back to the Fatal Fear, I know nobody want to hear all that. I'm talking about people. But I just believe that Berlanga, he overshot it, and he wasn't humble, and then by him, starting out by talking about Jesus Christ and then just going crazy in the press conference by, holding the air gun to Eddie Hearn and shooting him, and then doing with the Oscar De La Hoya with the money and the wig and all of that. And you just sit up there and talk about, I want to give thanks and all that to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Then act crazy as a mug, and just, it was like, and then, it was warranted that Sheeraz was going to do, because he was humble, he was very respectful. He was even trying to be respectful to you when you was disrespecting him. And like I told people, that was the culture of England and everything. In America is, man, some of the most disrespectful people out here, especially in America. Disrespectful. Remember they had the little young boy out, rest in peace to him though. I think it's YB Abdul or something. Remember, they called him Mr. Disrespectful. Man, this dude, they were digging up graves and peeing on gravestones and disrespectful. And they killed that little boy, man. They killed him. That's why I said, man, you got to watch who you talking to. But yeah, getting back to the Berlanga fight, Sheeraz, head movement, everything, and then like I told folks, he was gonna fill out, because he was struggling to make 160. And that's why he had them injuries and everything, because his body wasn't, at its optimal level of, fighting and everything. Because when you in there fighting, you need as much energy and strength as you can, and stamina is the key. You must have stamina while you boxing. You can't run out of gas. And Sheeraz, you could tell he came, and when he filled out at 168, he had more power. And because that Ammo fight, him and Ammo Williams, that was a good fight, man. I mean, the way that Sheeraz was putting them things together against Ammo, because Ammo had him hurt too, though. Ammo had Sheeraz hurt, but like I said, I just think that Berlanga was over matched in skill. As far as Berlanga just had more of the power department in his size, because Berlanga's a big guy, you know what I'm saying? Especially after he rehydrates after the weigh-in. Because I think he was like 35 pounds over, what he weighed the night of the fight. But Sheeraz was just, he was seeking destroy mode. You could tell he was fed up with all of the talking and the things that Berlanga had put him through and everything. And he was going in there to knock him out. And that's what he did. And I told folks that, go back and watch my things, man. I told people because everybody was saying Berlanga was going to win. And I'm like, what do they talk about? I'm like, what do they see? Because he's knocked out some beginning pros, some amateurs. Remember when he had that 16 streak knockout or 17 streak knockout? And I was like, he's not fighting skillful fighters. That's what I was saying. Carlos Adame is better than every person Berlanga ever fought on his resume besides Canelo. And Sheeraz fought him is what I'm saying. And even though they went to a draw, Sheeraz lost that fight, if you ask me. But Berlanga, the Canelo is the only one on Berlanga's resume that is I mean, he did everything on Berlanga's resume, and he lost to him. People can say what they want. It was a good strike. But Canelo is at the end of his rope. Canelo carried Berlanga. Because the old Canelo would have got Berlanga up out of there. I'm telling you, he would have got Berlanga up out of there. The old, El Capitão, what he used to call himself. I forgot, but yeah, he would have got him up out of there. Canelo, man, that's why you should love Canelo, because Canelo will knock you out. He'll put you to sleep quick. Absurd. Especially if you talk trash to him and get in his face. Remember what he did to Caleb Plant? Man, he put Caleb to sleep. But Caleb started out good, if you ask me. I think, because, man, if Caleb had a different trainer, I think Caleb could beat a lot of guys, because Caleb is not conditioned. Caleb got good skills and everything, but his conditions is off, man. He need a new strength and condition coach, and he need a new trainer. When your trainer is not confident in you, you know, that bleeds into your training, and it bleeds into your performance. You know what I'm saying? When you got somebody that's confident in you, that's why Bundini Brown was so instrumental in Muhammad Ali's lifestyle in his boxing career, because when you keep hearing it in your mental, see, I'll be telling y'all, I'll be dropping jewels, but I told folks a short pencil is better than a long memory. But when you keep hearing things over and over and over, especially positive things, you know, it seeps down into your subconscious mind. And not only that, your body is about 80% water. So the water is the conductor of the energy or the electricity, because, you know, water is a conductor of electricity. That's why you see at the bottom of dams, you see villages and things, because the water is powering those villages and things of that nature. But this is the things that we are to receive. You know what I'm saying? Man, I didn't want to get into no philosophy, man, but I was just saying, man, I just know that a lot of things in boxing, you know, when you got trainers and stuff that are on the up and up, and is going to give you the right advice and things, and going to tell you the truth and tell you what to do, and tell you if you want to be a champion, this is A, B, C, D, E, what we got to do, and then outline all of that. And within those, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? So, and the number one thing which made one of the greatest fighters that ever lived, which is Floyd Mayweather, so great, is his conditioning. His conditioning was out of this world. His conditioning, he never got tired. And see, the thing is, the reason he never got tired is because he trained his butt off. And when you never get tired and can keep up the exact same pace from round 1 to round 12, and the skill level that he has and his thinking, Floyd didn't bring out his bag on a lot of these people, man. Man, Floyd beat a lot of guys off of just pure skill. You know, he didn't even really have to think. He just, you know, repetitions what him and Roger used to do. You know, those were good enhancement, eye coordination, peripherals, reflexes. Those drills that he used to do that people used to make fun of, they didn't understand the science of it. See, that's why I say it's a sweet science. And if you don't understand the science of it, you're always going to laugh at stuff that people do when you don't understand when back in the day, what they did, they laid the foundation for all of these new fighters, like chopping wood. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali and all of them used to chop wood and logs, and you know, they man, it's so much stuff that a lot of the fans don't really know. But you know, the so-called boxing fans, they laughed at the things that they did, but they ain't understand the whole, you know, play for it and why it was instrumental in their approach to the fight night or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because repetition, man. That's why I told people muscle memory is something. When you got muscle memory, oh man, it doesn't matter how you talking, you know, because a lot of fighters today are punch drunk and everything, but their muscle memory, they'll knock you out. I'm trying to tell you, they'll knock you out. But that's all I got for Berlanga and Hamas. And like I said, congratulations to Shakur Stevenson and what he did. I just still don't think his words matched up to his performance, because I believe that he should have stopped Zepeda if he was talking about belt to ass. Because I don't know no grown man who's going to bend over and lay across another man's knee to let him beat him, unless he stop him, right? Don't you got to stop somebody and grab him after you stop him? So that's what I said. When you went out there with that Mexican belt, talking about belt to ass and all this, you ain't live up to your words. You fought good, and you got a nice little thud with your punch, but And you couldn't hurt Zepeda. Zepeda kept coming, and he made you fight. He made you fight. So it wasn't like you was going to give us this type of performance every time you fight, because after the post-fight interviews was happening, I saw you said to one of those media outlets that they asked you, the interviewer asked you, would you continue to fight like this, moving forward in your career? And you said, hell no. I got hit too much. Remember you kept saying that, and I was like, see, because it's the dance partner. See, what are they doing? Your opponent brought all of this out of you. You know what I'm saying? If your opponent wasn't to that aggressive and how he was to keep you on your toes and keep you in the game of fighting, you would have been sitting in the back waiting to counterpunch. You would have had another boring performance, but because of the style that Zepeda had, he made the fight exciting. And you supposed to take all the credit? No, because everybody know how you fight. That's why Turkey Alashiki sent that Tom and Jerry tweet out there. Because everybody know how you fight. They know what you gave when you fought Edwin De Los Santos. They know what you gave when you fight guys with power, and how you stay away, and how you like Edwin De Los Santos, you and him CompuBox boxing the round by round, that it was the lowest in CompuBox history, one of the lowest. You threw like between 2 and 4 rounds. 2 and 4 punches per round. That's running. And I don't blame you just by yourself, because Edwin should have known how to cut off the ring, because I think Edwin is a good, skilled, experienced enough fighter, but he needs more experience, because I think Edwin ain't nothing but 16 and 2 or something like that. He hadn't had a whole lot of fights either. I think you really start getting with a whole lot of experience once you pass between 25 and 30 fights. Especially in the amateur and the pros are two different things, because I can say two different, but it is different because of the stamina as far as the pros, and the output, smaller gloves, no headgear and different things of that nature. But what I'm saying, as far as the fighting is concerned, it's going to be more of a knockout instead of a point system. And that's why I think that Shakur has still adopted the amateur fighting style. And it's boring to fight fans who see blood, gut, and concussions and Brian Norman Jr. type knockouts. I'm talking about where he flatlining families. Niggas forgetting month and half. They say he forgot a month and a half worth of memories. They said he came back though, but dog, you putting people to sleep, dog. Man. That's why I said, you gotta respect Haney. That boy from Henderson, Nevada. You gotta respect him, man, because the last couple of performances, Brian Norman, I know I'm on another topic, but Brian Norman Jr. had with Centillion, when he had that boy jumping out of the ring like a fish out of water. Woo, and then did the pose. Oh my goodness. Man, that's the knockout and the pose of the year. Remember the pose over Centillion after he was... That nigga was admiring his work. I said, that nigga Brian Norman, I like him. And then he did that with Chisaki. Remember he got on his knees, gave the samurai. He gave that samurai death joint. I said, this nigga Brian. He called that nigga the assassin. I said, oh. And then Devin said he want to fight him. I said, because I always thought Devin had heart. Because like I said, I stopped messing with him after he wanted to sue Ryan, because you don't sue, boxers don't sue one another. This is a club. First rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about sparring. But these niggas out here breaking the rules. Putting out sparring tapes and Abdullah Mason and Kid Austin, and they doing breaking fight club rules. Rule number 2, we don't talk about Fight Club. You know what I'm saying? But you don't sue boxers. Boxers don't. So I disowned them. But now that I look at everything unfolding in the whole career of Devin and all of the stuff that's been going on in the headlines and the media and everything, his father, it's Bill. It's Bill. It's Bill. Like remember Kill Bill? It's Bill. That's what it is. It's Bill. Bill Haney. He's the culprit behind it all. Bill Haney. Yeah, but yeah, man, I just think that. Oh man, let me get this. I gotta get this call. Hold on.